But I'm really excited every time we have different people here on a Friday to talk about different things, because these are worlds that I may never be introduced to unless I sat here and asked these questions.
Well, maybe you have a gala, or you go to
a gala,
and you need a. All right, we'll talk about it.
If I need, excuse me, first of all,
right,
if I can't go into my secret bag of tricks to bring out, please, are you kidding me? First of all, let's go to the.
You have a secret bag.
Let me introduce. Cowboysforangels.com is the website. I went on there. There were a lot of pictures being flashed at me very rapidly, and I was very excited for a little bit. I felt like I almost could have got a seizure, though. You know, I had like Pokemon. Anyway, let me welcome to the show. He is the owner and creator of Cowboysforangels.com, and it's also a Showtime series where we get to see the Gigolos. Is that still a thing? Gigolos? We'll talk about it with Mr. Garren James. Welcome.
I got applause.
Look at you.
Wow, I made it.
Man,
I made it.
Look at you.
They're clapping for me.
Okay, so Garren James, stop playing. You are that man. Okay, were you once a gigolo?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Basically, my introduction to this industry was that I dated a woman who owned an agency, Women for Men. And I slowly started to learn the business from A to Z. And one day she looked at me and said, "Do you want to start an agency, Men for Women?" And I said, I looked on the internet. There was nothing like it. And started the agency. And it was really hard to find guys. So when we first started getting calls, I would fulfill the calls.
Wow. So what did that look like? So hello, I have a gala to go to, and I need someone to escort me to this gala.
Really?
I'm looking for someone tall,
handsome.
I need him to be
you are cute.
Beyond handsome.
You are definitely
I need
cute.
him to have all of his teeth that I can see when he smiles.
Gotta have good
because
teeth.
what's going on in the
Very
back
important.
good teeth.
Good
I
teeth.
need the breath to be good.
Gotta have mints.
I need there to be pectoris muscles.
Gotta have muscles.
And the gluteus maximum,
Gotta have a
medium, and minimus all need to be operating on the same level.
Definitely have to be well-rounded.
Do you have someone like that?
Yeah, I have a few.
Okay,
all
right. So you would be like, it's me every time. I need a dark skin. It's me. I'm gonna get a tan. Hey, I need someone that's Latin. Oh, I'm good. I got that.
Yeah.
So you showed
at the
up,
beginning-
and what happened, Garren? You would show up to these when the women would call.
There's so many different examples of why women need dates. We have women that need to go on trips, that don't want to go alone, that or might be afraid of going out of the country alone. Just sent somebody on a 2-week dive trip to.
Wait a minute. This is a different thing that I didn't consider.
2-week dive trip.
Wait, so travel,
yeah.
with a male escort could be more like having security.
Correct, yeah.
I like that.
Lot of women
now, Cousin
do that.
Syl, that might be a reason to do that. And what's wrong with your
And
security? Yeah, being eye candy too.
And being, your
willing for it to go down at the end of the night. If
No,
I haven't found anybody else on the island who
down.
I wanted to go
Wait a
down
minute.
with.
Wait a minute.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hold up.
Okay.
Let me rethink this. Hold on. So, no strings attached. We ain't gotta talk.
You don't have to talk.
I don't have to.
He'll just follow you around. We're here to dote on you. Women are used to using services more than men. Hair, nails, manicures, pedicures, eyelashes, get makeup done. Women are used to services, so it's like an easy transition for a woman to use this service. It's a service. Where a lot of women are going on bad date after bad date after bad date, where here it's like you're guaranteed a good guy. I've had 20,000 employment requests. I turn away, and I'm a boutique agency. I only represent 95 to 100 guys right now. So you have to be really amazing to be on our website. Background checked. Go on. I send them on smaller dates and make sure that they're getting good reviews. And I take this business more seriously than anyone else. I think.
What year was this when you were the only person in the business?
2009.
Okay, so in a scant 9 years, you have gone from one guy to nearly 100 from...
And it's a crazy story. It's a
Tell
crazy
me.
story. Just one day, I got a call from the Tyra Banks show, and they're like, "We need a male escort for the show." And I was like, at the time, my website was a little slim. I was like, I can't talk any of these guys to go on the Tyra Banks show. So I said, I thought, and I didn't know if it was a joke call or not. And I was like, listen, we're not interested, but you tell Tyra I'll come out of retirement and see her personally if she would like a date with one of the guys. And just as a joke, I just threw it out there. And they called back the next day and they're like, we really, the producers were like, we really want you on the show. You're that guy at the time with the long hair. And I was like, nah, not really. I was really pursuing an acting career and modeling. And at the time, and this was like a side hobby job. And they said, so I said no. So they called back and they said, what can we do, the next day, what can we do to get you on the show? And I was like, well, at the time I was like starting over and it was, I didn't have much money. And I was like, well, do you pay? And they're like, no, we don't pay. And I was like, nah. They're like, well, what if we pay you? And I was like, well, how much? And they said $250 and I said $500. And they're like, okay, we'll pay you $500. And I was like, that's like a week's rent of couch, the couch. And I called a friend and said, should I do this? Is this going to ruin my life? Is this weird? And he said, keep the check. You can say it was an acting job. And when I went on that show and the women were clapping and everyone was excited, I said, oh my God, this is going to be amazing. And I said at the time, I just had some guys in one city. I said, I have men in 3 different cities because I knew I had 90 days before this aired. And so I whipped it into shape, and in 90 days, the phone started ringing. We were in the top Google search site in the nation.
Wow.
So it was pretty incredible, but it was still a slow start. And then Dr. Phil called, and then 2020, and then Juju Chang, and then the Gigolo show, and that's been phenomenal.
On Showtime.
Showtime. Yeah.
Anybody watch this? 866-801-8255. Because I'll be honest, I didn't know the Gigolo show existed.
I feel like I saw a version of it, but I don't know if this is the exact.
That was Magic Mike.
I don't know. I saw a version. Is it based in Las Vegas?
Yes.
And the first episode was when y'all let a black guy in?
Yes.
Yes, I did see the first episode. Yeah, out of the blue. But it was on a porn site. It was on
a different site.
Yeah, it was on a different site, but still,
It's been a really fun show. We make it into a comedy. We make it light and fluffy and fun, and we don't take ourselves seriously.
Is it light and fluffy?
It's
okay.
so funny.
So take me back to my phone call.
I'm a creative consultant. So
are you okay? We're talking with Garren James. You can follow him at Cowboys with the number 4 Angels, or go to Cowboys with an S 4 the number 4 Angels.com to find a person. So okay,
yes.
So I'm traveling.
More dates.
I'm traveling to a foreign country.
Right.
I need to have a nice Nordic man because I'm going to Europe.
Got him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I would say from Denmark, we'll go with Carl down in South Florida.
Okay.
He could go with you.
All right.
Speaks 3 or 4 languages.
All right.
Great for Europe.
All right. Now, as Cousin Sil said, at the end of the day, what happens? Is he required? So give me, is there a price breakdown of?
Yeah, it depends. We give a discount for the more time booked. So, this is a luxury service, obviously. Our rates are set higher than I guess a normal sort of guy could do, just because of our notoriety and such. And some guys' rates are higher than others. A weekend appointment is $3,000 a day, so $6,000 for the weekend. We do have weekly rates. I just sold a guy for a month.
You sold him for? This feels very, very weird.
It does.
All right. As people from a certain culture selling people, I don't know.
No, not
I know you don't mean that, but I'm just saying that just seems weird.
We sold his time for the month.
Okay, thank you.
It's an NFL thing, not a slave thing.
Right. No.
All right.
He was white.
Okay, that doesn't make it better.
It was a white man.
So let me just say,
white people. Okay.
I sold a white man.
All right. So if I want to have a happy ending, Garren.
Okay, so the United States, obviously prostitution is illegal.
Oh, okay.
Except in Vegas.
Except in certain parts of Vegas. No, just like the Bunny Ranch.
Las Vegas. There's a small few
NYPD
counties.
just got caught with a prostitution ring.
Yeah, it's not.
So, prostitution is obviously it's a crime in the United States. If you call me and say you're looking to buy sex, I can't do business with you. Yeah, we don't sell sex. Escort. It's crazy because escort agencies are 100% legal in the United States. The problem is anytime you hear about like an escort agency is because they've crossed the line and they were doing illegal services, having illegal portals in their website where you could see different positions and how much for this sexual service. And that. So it's whenever an escort agency, which is legal, crosses the line.
And you're not doing that.
Correct. I never have.
Okay. And you're married.
I'm yes, and I have 3-year-old twins.
Oh,
so I'm not here to jeopardize that. I mean, I have, our goal is, and our clientele is like, if somebody calls me and they're like, I need to be discreet because I'm going to cheat on my husband. I'm just like, bye.
Right. This is not what we do.
Then I get people, I want to find out if my wife is cheating on me. She'll be at this bar. Will you go, try to hit on her? I'm like, bye. Hire a detective or a relationship.
Right. This is not what we do. We're there
I'm not here to
be arm candy.
Correct.
Or security. Do you have martial artists and do you know how to?
I mean, I can't really sell them as I can't sell them as massage therapists because they're not licensed. I can't sell them as bodyguards. We sell them as male companions, and that's what we sell them as. And our clientele over the years, we've had so many just amazing stories of, I guess you could say sad, where like a woman has a bucket list. She's dying of cancer and wants to go. She wanted to go to India, and so we got to do that with her for her before she passed. We've had women that have been battered. We've had women. One of my most. I don't know why it struck me so amazing, but a woman called and she was an avid equestrian. In that sport, and she fell off her horse and damaged her retina, and she's blind. And she called and she said, it's been a year and I haven't gone on a date, and I'm so nervous, and I just would like to hire a professional to go out on a date for my first date as a blind person, and that was like to fulfill that for her, just to get her back on her feet again was a great experience. So we have a lot of like special needs calls. And then we have a ton of women that call that are going through a divorce. Now, if you know much about, I've learned a lot about divorce since I've been in this business, and to have a woman going through a battle with another human being, it becomes a battle in most cases.
Yeah, it can become blood sport sometimes.
A battle. So now how in this sometimes a year to 2 years battle are you going to start a new fresh relationship with somebody, because you're just going to bring this battle and this baggage and all this craziness. So I've had a ton of women get them through a divorce where they have a fun date and have some fun and try to forget about that, but not trying to start some new relationship, just a paid fun night, like cut loose type stuff. So,
Garren James is in the house. Cowboys, 4 Angels. Who are you? Where are you from?
I was born in Boca Raton, Florida.
South Florida.
I went to school in Indiana. And
did you play a sport?
Yeah, football.
Yeah. All right.
I love football.
And how did you meet your wife?
Well, I met her at the gym. Strange enough.
Where at the barbells? Where the
in South Florida, LA.
No,
Fitness.
I know. What the weight machines or on the treadmill? Where'd you meet her?
Yeah, I think she was on the. I think she was on one of the exercise machines, and that day I just let me go do some cardio. I don't do. I wasn't gonna do cardio, and I just went up to the machine next door, and I'm like, hey.
What was it about her?
Great technique.
What was it about her? I don't know. It just when about her was she's a Latin woman, and she's round.
Okay.
All right. I don't want to be disrespectful.
That's
but
all right.
Voluptuous.
She's got stuff in the right places.
Jeans.
Okay. All right. You like
and,
a little.
And then I just looked over
and
Next
thing you know, she got low.
Okay. All right. We got you.
Now I'm gonna get in trouble.
Gigolo skills he got. He just sat there.
No, I see this.
He knows how to appeal to a woman.
Did you? Yeah. No.
And she just smiled at me, and it was the smile.
No, I heard somewhere that you've overcome some things,
yes.
Mr. Garren, and so talk a little bit about that.
I graduated college, great, a degree, got scouted as a model, went to Europe, and one day tried a substance, and that substance really just took over my life. It was, I don't know, we can talk about it?
Yeah, it's Friday.
It was cocaine.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
cocaine.
And had you.
Got me.
Took you.
Got me quick.
Right.
And
The first time?
No, it was more like it was fun, and then it was fun, and then it was
An addiction. It went from fun to an
it went
addiction.
to fun to just really bad. And then I ended up getting blackballed I was in Germany. I missed a big job. They called all my agencies, and I got blackballed. And I came home, and I ended up working construction, college-educated guy, and world traveled model, and working construction because it was great because I could just show up when I showed up, and it wasn't really a big deal. And I was
And you were
high.
still using.
Yeah. And at that time I was taking pills as well, and I ended up just in the wrong place, the wrong time, get arrested, trespass, wrong place, wrong time, possession of cocaine, wrong place, wrong time. And it was always
You
it was
went to
always
jail?
their fault. Oh yeah.
How long did you spend?
My last arrest
Wow.
was I basically broke into a home that I was living in the day before, a girl's house who kicked me out. She said, if you get high again, you're out of here. So they used that as leverage because I didn't have any mail, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And when I think back, and I was in jail for 10 months.
Wow.
And it was crazy because I had bond. And I had burned every bridge. I had burned, I was basically homeless several times through that period. And I have mug shots, and I look at them today and wow.
Let's talk more about this when we come back.
Okay.
Can you stick around?
Yeah, I'm
going
here.
to make you stick around. Garren James is in the house. And if
here.
you have any questions for him, a couple of people do. 866-801-8255. I want to know if Seaton is a good candidate for Cowboys for Angels. So we're going to study him and go through that as well. 866-801. He said, yeah. Did we do all of these? Did we do? Yep, we're good? Okay. Listen, when we come back, Garren's sticking around. Marsha Ambrosius is somewhere. She'll be here as well. This is Friday. We'll figure it out, Jameson. It's the Carrot at the Show. We'll be right back. That's right. Welcome back. Welcome back. It's the Karen Hunter Show. It is Friday. It's not as foolish because we just don't even manufacture it. It either is or it isn't, and that's all right. It's still foolish. It's Friday because we let our hair down. We're not talking all that wackety whack stuff. We're talking with my man Garren James about his Cowboys for Angels in the break. I love him so much. We were asking if Seaton Smith, who's in the house, is Cowboys for Angels material, and I know it's tough because Seaton is sitting right in front of you.
It's okay.
So instead of putting it on Seaton, because Seaton is a very secure man, and he can take whatever. Let me just ask you: if somebody wants to become a Cowboy for Angels, what do they need to possess?
We have an employment page, and so they would have to follow the instructions on that page. So
that's the first line. If they can't do that, that's out.
Yeah, if you
They're
can't
out.
follow the instructions and you call me and say, hey, I'd like to work for you. Okay, you don't know how to follow instructions. I'm going to block your number. Okay. So
that's
we
fair.
get a lot of calls. So,
I know you do.
Got to have professional photos. That's something that people do not realize. Think
Seaton
about
has
this.
them. He's a professional. All
Got
right.
those.
Think about this. You go into a magazine and you look at a picture of a pair of underwear. Is it just like, did this underwear take a selfie with toothpaste in the mirror? Or did they do a beautiful spread and a really well thought out photo of that product? Well, it's the same thing with an escort. You have to have a very well thought out series of professional photos to make yourself look amazing. So you can't have selfies in the we don't do that. I mean, not at my agency. So that's a big thing that people don't realize.
Sexuality, does that matter?
We at our
You
agency,
bill yourselves as straight.
Yeah, we only represent men that see women, and
You know that there are men that see women that like men.
right. We I don't know if I have a good sense of that, but if a guy tells me, that he also sees men, that's something that we don't deal with. We're a specialty agency. We choose to represent men. Nothing against.
No. Right, but
Yeah.
this is your.
Right.
Okay.
We're a niche agency, and I'm sorry if that offends anybody. Maybe at some point I'll do Cowboys for Cowboys, but at this point, it's Cowboys for Angels, and that's just our
And the women
niche.
are angels.
Correct.
I love that.
Yeah.
All right, Seaton had a question.
Well, no, let's see what we got going on. Okay, so I'd have some. So I'd have some questions
Did
for
you have a
Seaton.
guy said, wait till he comes here. You got to ask the question when he gets in?
Oh,
You remember the question?
No, but my
And
question
I told you to write it down?
Yeah, my question has nothing to do with him, though. Mine was about the dude who called in who was feeling sad and he didn't have a
No,
job.
there was a question you said, and I said, wait till he comes in. All right.
I
Cousin,
got a
got a
question.
question.
I want to interview him. Hold on a second.
All right,
Okay,
okay,
cool.
all right,
All right, here we
All
go.
So generally, I like to find out education.
Okay. Got a went to Howard, so got a BA.
That's really good.
All right.
Next thing I'd like to know is, where you've traveled in the world.
Okay. Europe, Australia, and Mexico and Canada.
World travel. That's good.
Good.
Next thing that I like to look at is engagement. When I talk to somebody, are they on point? Are they wishy-washy? Do they seem to have some pizzazz to them? Which he has, which I really, 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 I'm not just saying this, but if he called, if he sent in an application, sent in the photos, he's got a little bit different hair.
That's right.
Which I think is interesting because I don't represent a guy with that kind of hair, which I like. I like to find unique.
Somebody that's
I like
gonna
to find
right.
Yeah, I don't want a cookie cutter agency.
He's a martial artist.
That's right.
So that means
Good.
he can.
He's slender. He looks nice. Like he's got a great physique. Okay.
Hot dog.
He's 6 foot tall.
So you gonna give him an
he
extra
smiles.
You give me an extra, I'll take that inch.
And he smiles, and I'm looking
Wouldn't
at
they all?
I'm looking at his shoes, and it looks like he's got a decent
He's
foot.
doing Tom. Oh, his
I got
size,
Tom.
foot size.
Foot size. Yeah.
What size shoe do you wear, Seaton?
13.
He's got a decent sized
Yeah, I know.
foot.
I know. That's why I wear Toms all the time because if I wore like regular
Do
sneakers.
women ask for that though?
That was just a.
It was a
Okay.
joke.
All right.
No, but that
sorry. I was
just
trying to be
intrigued
funny.
me. Right? So you were 13?
I do.
You're right.
You're not 6 feet tall?
I know. I got huge hands and weak feet. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
He said it's annoying.
It's annoying. No, it's a burden, really.
And how can I ask you?
You look
And he's
like an
thin.
L.
And he's thin.
You look like an
Yeah,
L.
see
Here's
what's going
another.
on. Yeah.
Here's one more thing that people don't realize. I'd like to know his age.
36.
Now, listen. This is what's crazy. 20-year-old guys apply. 18-year-old guys apply. I will never hire a 21-year-old kid. I like guys 35 to 45.
Who are seasoned, who have lived a little bit.
Yes. Traveled the world,
Right.
education. You can't.
Right,
You can't
right,
just
because
be a
you
pretty
have to have
face.
something to talk about.
Right.
Women
Oh my
like to
God.
talk.
If you're going to go on a 2-week appointment with someone that sits there like, "Hi, I'm just pretty. Hi, I have a good body. Worship me."
Right.
No.
Right.
And if you and he doesn't have an ego either. He's got a healthy, secure sense of himself. If you call me and you're like, "The other day I was walking down the street and somebody asked to buy my sperm because I'm just a perfect specimen." I'm like, okay, you will never be able to appreciate or worship another person to be paid to do that.
Right.
You're going to think that you show up and they're just going to like bow down. No. You're serving
You're serving them.
So if you have this big ego, you'll never do good at this job. And I sense that right away and I hang up
Right.
on those people.
Good.
I've turned away so many good-looking guys. So
How much can a
he's
person
good.
like Seaton make?
Yeah. And how much are you going to take cut of, by the way?
That was my only question. What's your commission?
Are
Are
you
you
like
20%?
20.
20.
I felt
Most
that.
escort agencies are 40. Some do 30.
Wow.
But as when I started this agency and my ex was like, "I don't know what you're thinking," I wanted to do 20 because I was used to my modeling agency
Right, the
taking
management
20.
fees or whatever. Yeah.
So, and I thought that men would be used to that as well, and it would help me manage the clients for them. And
Right.
so, it's a very fair situation. It's I don't gouge people, and I try to make everybody happy in that sense. And how much could he make? Well, that's a good question. I can never really guarantee anybody. I've had guys that start out and they start making decent money, couple thousand a week, and then I have a guy like I said, that is collecting 30,000 on a trip coming up, or I just the month his rate is 100, so he's collecting 80,000. So
Wow.
but again, this is
Yikes.
luxury items. These are luxury trips.
Right.
I know, maybe, but the thing is it could take some time to build up
Right,
regular
'cause
clients
he has
for him.
to- yeah, he-
because you could go on a 2-hour appointment and the woman could be like, yeah, not so nice.
I'm good.
Or he could go on a 2-hour appointment. They could talk about how he's been to Europe, and she says, "Oh, I'd love to go to Europe. That'd be great if you went with me because you've been there." And then she'll call and schedule a 5-day trip.
And-
so
and you could
it's
show her
a
the-
lot, right? It
you
has
know,
a lot to do with
the
him.
Louvre and
right.
all of the Eiffel Towers.
Is he good? Is
all of
how
that.
how good he is?
Wow.
So-
You gotta, I can see about having to build up to 80,000. I couldn't the first date be charming for $80,000. That'd be too much pressure.
It'd be too much pressure.
That's way too much pressure. I got to build
But usually,
up.
what we do with the guys is we start them out on smaller appointments too, and then see how they're doing. And so it's a process to make sure that he's good and that he's good with clients, and because he's also a part of our brand. So,
Okay.
it's a tricky process.
Worst thing that happened to you in jail?
Oh God, the worst thing that happened to me in jail, and I'll tell you, I was in jail for 10 months. I got transferred to the Dade County Jail because I had an old warrant there before I was getting released into a 6-month Department of Corrections run treatment center. And I was in jail for 10 months, and my mom along the way had come to every halfway house, every treatment center, every jail. And when I got transferred to the Dade County Jail, people, I don't know, do whatever you do, if you're in Miami, be very careful. Do not get arrested in Dade County. The jail is archaic. The rats fight the roaches. It's nasty. There's the crank wheel. I mean, it's like old school nasty jail. Dirty. Okay? And at that point, I was dead stone sober. After I had been in jail so many times that it was just like in and out and like, who cares? And I remember, and I had a little bit of recovery in me because I was in a 6-month jail program. And I was there, sitting there, looking at the dirt and the rats and the roaches. And I said to myself, how did you get here, And then, boom, I got a call for a visitation. And I went up, and it was my mom. And in this particular jail, it was so nasty and dirty. There was plexiglass, and on the plexiglass was scratched. Can I cuss?
Yeah.
Okay. It said, fuck you. And I'm looking at my mother, a school teacher, and she's looking at me, and I'm looking at it going, and it says, fuck you. As I'm looking at my poor mother who's been with me this journey, and I will never forget that moment of seeing that. And like when I walked out of there, I was in tears. I was like, I'll never let this happen to my mother again. So that was the worst time.
Was that when you left drugs? When you got?
Yeah, and then I got transferred out and went to a Department of Corrections run treatment center, and then a halfway house, and life has
been great.
12-step program.
Look at you.
Now
and
I bring
how long? How many years have you been sober?
10.
Wow.
And can I tell you one? Do we have time for a minute?
I had a question.
Oh yeah, go ahead with your question.
Do you drink alcohol? Because people say that it's a gateway. Right, that's what I wanted to know.
Yeah, because you got to be sober.
Completely.
That's
clean.
sober.
Yeah, completely.
So I applied. Do I have a minute?
Yeah, go ahead. Come on,
cool.
Garren. Garren James is in the house.
This is crazy. So I've been applying to bring a meeting into the Broward County Jail, the jail that pretty much saved my life. They gave me these treatment centers. I've been applying to get into these jails for 10 years, and I keep getting denied because of my record. You got too many felonies. And I'm like, but you don't understand. So I apply every year. So this last year, I sent a video of like my mug shots and like where I'm at today and my kids, and I said I have to come into this jail, and I got approved. Yeah. And then I went into and I raised my hand to get to this meeting because you have to go through a process, and I got this meeting. I picked Sunday night. They led me down the hallway, and we're walking down the hallway, and I'm like, wow, this is weird. And I go down the same hallway, and I go to the same door, and they bring me into the same, I didn't know. They brought me into the same cell that I was in, that many years before, into the same cell. So now I bring a meeting into the same jail cell that I was in to 150 inmates, and I bring it strong. And I let them know, life can change, life is, and like I'm all up about this because there's so many things in the press about people dying, from this, and that there is no solution, and there is a solution, and we can recover, and everybody knows somebody's affected by addiction.
Absolutely.
And this is National Recovery Month, this September is, so we need to get the word out that, people's lives can change. So anyway.
Man,
damn it!
I love you.
You are much more than a pretty face.
Yes, Garren James is way more than that, and he's a businessman.
Awesome.
Can you come back?
I would love to.
We'd love to have you back. Cowboys for Angels.
I'll be back in a few weeks.
Okay, Cowboys. Yes, for real. Seriously, Cowboys for Angels. Laney, make it happen. CowboysForAngels.com with the number 4. Garren James, God bless you. Thank you for being here. That was wonderful.
Thank you.